Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Explorer Judges meeting. So today's meeting is all for our Explorer Judges. So our very introductory competition, our beginner guys, all coming through. Remember, Explorer is designed for teams who are new, it's designed for teams who are possibly struggling, and it's designed for teams to predominantly have fun in this wonderful world of robotics. So please, as an Explorer judge, please remember that we are working with beginners, we are working with kids with a lot of anxiety, and we're working with children really doing robotics for the first time. Some of these kids may only have been doing robotics for 1 or 2 weeks before entering the actual competition itself. So keep that in mind when you are judging the teams that you will have been assigned. For those who don't know, my name is Duncan Beaton, and I have been part of the WRO for over 10 years now, and 7+ years in a head judge position and organizing position with WRO South Africa. I'm also the international head judge for the RoboMission category, and have had that role since about 2017. So thank you for spending some time with me this evening to talk about one of my favorite things, and that being the World Robot Olympiad. Now, don't panic if you lose connection or if things drop. This is all being recorded, so nothing to worry about. I must then just say, you may hear some funny noises in the background. I am currently at home, like I hope you are as well. I'm with my family, and in my family, I have a 2-year-old who's running around and is quite busy, and a 5-year-old who is a little bit grumpy sometimes. So please, if you hear them in the background, understand I'm a father, and that's part of life. So thank you for taking the time, not only to sit in this webinar, but also to take the time in our competitions, spending time with these children who've been working on their robots and their programs for a very long time. By spending the time as a judge, you are showing that there are adults who have an interest in what these kids have been working on. And you as a judge play an incredibly important role in the enthusiasm, in the encouragement, and in the fun that the teams have on the day. Thank you for bringing your expertise. Whether you are doing this for the first time or you are one of our regulars, we welcome you to the World Robot Olympiad. It is always great to see our judges on the day. And importantly, thank you for deciding to come and spend a day with us. Just a quick stat. This is the international. We can see that we have quite a few countries, over 106 member countries in the world, and only one of them, that's South Africa, is running with Explorer. Now, Explorer, we have gone and actually influenced quite a bit of the starter competition internationally, as well as many countries do copy us and follow along with what we do. We are the trendsetters. Isn't that quite cool? So taking a look at some statistics, we will have a total of 341 Explorer teams taking part this year. That number has now increased to 343 as some teams have joined. They've decided to drop out from RoboMission and try Explorer. It might be a bit easier and better for them, finding RoboMission a little bit too tricky. So we need about 130+ judges in order to judge our actual Explorer category, spread across quite a few events. Now, on the judges list, you may have noticed we have stars. And for those of you who don't know, this is something we introduced in South Africa for our judges, and it has now been taken on at an international standard as well. So for those heading to the international final, you'll hopefully also receive your star rating. Now, in South Africa, how our stars work, it's not how experienced or how good you are as a judge. It is more about the level that you have attained in your judging process. So a 5-star judge, as an example, is someone who's been overseas and judged at an international competition. A 3 or a 4-star is somebody who's judged at the national level. and a 2-star is someone who's judged at a provincial. If you have 1 star, it means that you are new, it's your first time, and you can look to the guys who've got 5, 4, 3, 2 stars to lead you through the process. So please, if you have 1 or 2 stars, don't feel offended. We are just trying to show the little bits that we have within South Africa. So a big one, if you haven't yet, please go on and accept the judging assignment that you will find in your judging link. So you would have received the link, that's why you're in this meeting, and in that link, in that mail, there was a link to accept or decline your judging position. Please, if you haven't, make sure that you accept your judging assignment. And more importantly for me, if you really enjoy the judging process and after your event you decide, I really enjoyed that, I want to try another one, please feel free to reach out and say, hey Duncan, I'd like to register for another event, maybe the one coming up next week. Please put my name down and we will 100% use you. We are always looking for judges and will always reward judges who have all that enthusiasm. So what criteria makes a good judge? Well, judges should be friendly. That's our #1 rule. Remember, we are working with children, so being friendly does help. Judges should be observant. You should be looking around, seeing what's going on, and being able to acknowledge and admit things that you need to. Judges should be attentive. Please look at what your teams are doing. Keep track of what's happening with them and offer them some assistance when needed, especially at the Explorer level. Remember, the purpose of Explorer is to introduce robotics to teams in a fun way. Judges should be of high integrity. There should be no bias and no cheating. So please try and always keep a high integrity. We do have favorite teams, and if you don't have a favorite team, that's not a problem. But we all end up with a favorite team on the day, whether you are judging in RoboMission, Innovators, or Explorer. There will always be one. And for me, judges should understand the rules, not only read the rules, but really understand them. Remember, judges are there for our teams. The teams are not there for the judges. So please don't go and boss around the teams. The teams have been working hard throughout the year to reach this event, and this event is for them. So please prepare yourself for some funny things. There will be teams who are non-compliant, and these are teams who have most of the time misread the rules or had coaches who have misread the rules, and they'll tell them one thing and that is then incorrect. So please be ready for teams who are non-compliant. They're going to be annoyed because they've been practicing certain things and we as judges are not telling them that they are incorrect. Please prepare yourself. Coaches are 90% of our problems when we are judging. It's not the teams that give us issues, it's really the guys on the sidelines. And why? Because the coaches have also invested a lot of time in their teams and they want only the best for their teams. They can't see what's happening on the table and they will try and do the best for their own teams. Prepare for tears. There are always tears at the events because there is so much emotion in robotics. Teams build these robots, they give them personalities, and when they fail, when they don't succeed like they wanted to, there will be tears and people crying. So please prepare yourself for those eventualities. Prepare yourself for pressure. There will be a lot of pressure at the event, and that's not only going to be on you, it's going to be on the teams. And that's what the teams have done for themselves. They put the pressure on themselves because they know how they want to prepare. You will be given a judging partner. Now, the judging partner may be at a different training level. They may have a different understanding of the rules to you. Different languages may be involved and different cultures. So keep in mind the person you're judging with is only human as well, and they have read the rules in a way that may not agree with you. So if you are unsure about a rule, always ask your head judges on the day. Remember, our head judges are there to support you as table judges and make the best competition possible for our teams. Now, as a judge, we work together. We work as a big judging family. We all look out for each other. So if you see someone who's tired, someone struggling, step in and help our fellow judges. We all want to make it out of there alive at the end of the day. So please look after one another while you are on the floor. Learn from one another. We have our experts. We have our high class, the best judges in the world here in South Africa. So please, if you are new, learn from the guys who've been doing it for a while, and those who have been doing it for a while, learn from the teams who are new. It's always great to come up with new information and meet new people. You will be assigned a specific role, and our majority will be table judges. You'll be the guys working directly with the teams and the kids. Our head judges will be working with the coaches themselves. Please remember to have fun. If you are not having fun as a judge at this competition, you are missing out. As our head judges, they are there throughout the day to support you, and they will come if called. Please note that you may need to wait because they are busy. They may be dealing with a crisis, so they will need to work with someone. And use WhatsApp groups. Some judging groups have created WhatsApp groups, and please, if you are in one of those groups, use it. It's a good way of getting in touch with your judges. Remember that the teams are our number one priority. That's where our interest lies. It's not in the stands, it's not with the spectators, it is completely on the teams. If you have an issue on the day with a coach or a spectator, please let the head judge know. The head judge will address any coaches if it is necessary. Please wear comfortable shoes. You will be standing for quite a while, so please make sure that you are comfortable, and most importantly, wear something comfortable as well. So now we've looked at some things to expect. Let's have a look at the role of an explorer judge. Your role, as I've been saying, is number one, we look after the teams on the day. We make sure they are having fun, and we look after them in such a way that they come back year after year. We are responsible for keeping order and to keep things moving throughout the competition. So if you have slow teams, if there are teams fighting on the table, we have to get involved as judges. We need to look after the best interests of all involved on the day. Remember, I can't say this enough, our teams are our number one priority. We should all be friendly, we should smile, we should talk, and we should encourage our teams. Again, these teams have worked very hard to get to where they are. A lot of them are new, a lot of them are nervous, and the Explorer is their first time in a robotics competition. So having someone who's standing there as an adult supporting them right when things are going wrong is a really powerful and encouraging thing. So please be that light when things are looking dark for our teams. Now we'll take a look at the Explorer judging procedure. So this is the procedure we'll use when we are judging. But before we get there, let's take a look at the actual table layouts. So for Explorer, we have the team area. This is where the teams will set up and program their robots. We have a queue line, and we have a competition table. The competition table is where the teams will participate. So please make sure your teams participate on the table they have been assigned. We will have a queue line, and this queue line is where the teams will line up. They will line up just on the green line, and then you will call them one by one to the competition table. Please only allow one team on the competition table at a time. Teams must obey your rules on the table. If you see that your line is getting a little bit annoyed, perhaps one team is on the table and they're spending quite a lot of time running their robot, and you can see that the other competitors are getting visibly annoyed, that is your signal to let them hurry up and increase the speed at which they are practicing. So please make sure you enforce or let your teams know that you are there to run the table and will be looking out for those. If you see a slow team, you must tell them to increase their speed and hurry along the day. So what's your mood in the line? If teams are taking too long, speed them up. We want as many teams as possible to have access to the table. So taking a look at our judging procedure. So for our Explorer, we have a short competition. It's roughly 2.5 hours. We have a registration set up. Now you may be going on a Saturday event, so might be a little bit different. However, most of them follow the same process. We have a start time, and this is the time when teams will arrive and they will register at the registration table. We then have a judges meeting, and during that judges meeting, you will receive the Explorer surprise rule. That's right, there is a surprise rule for Explorer. It's not very complicated because remember, we are working with beginner teams. Always attend your judges meeting. It's where you will meet your head judges and be assigned your fellow judges as well. We then have the opening and instructions. So this is where the surprise rule will be said, as well as any thank yous that we need to make on behalf of WRO. We have the first scoring time, and this is an hour long. So teams have 1 hour, 60 minutes in which to score. All teams should score within that first hour. So please, if you have teams on your table in the last 20 minutes who've not yet scored, rush them. Get one score on the board. We want all teams to at least score once on the day. That is our biggest issue. Teams do not want to score. They are afraid of it for some reason. We are not 100% sure. I think it's because they think that they can always score better and they don't take the risk of scoring once. Most of the time, teams don't realize that they have multiple options, multiple chances to score. So please encourage your teams to score as many times as possible and score often and score well. We then have a break, and our break for Explorer is only 15 minutes. This is a little breather for teams and is an opportunity for teams to meet with their coach and their coach to give them a little pep talk if things are going wrong or to give them some advice on the day. If you are a judge and you are a coach as well, you've got your own teams, please feel free during the break to speak with your teams. Do not speak with your teams on the floor while the competition is going on. Your teams may be disqualified in those cases. Once we've finished our final score, we pack up and head off to prize giving. So how does it work? Well, in Explorer, the teams will tell us when they would like to score. There is no set scoring time. Teams have to score within the time that's allowed, those 2 hours. Teams must inform you that we would like to score. Please, when a team is scoring, reset the table, make sure everything is correct. And as a bonus, please, if you see a team that's doing well, let's say a team's come to the table, they were scoring 60 points, they work on their robot for about 20 minutes and come back, and all of a sudden they're scoring 190. Please, try and tell that team they need to score. It's a very good score. Try write it down. The teams and the coaches will be told that if the judges are telling your team to score, you should probably listen. They know something else that's going on. Please, for Explorer, we record the time that the robot stopped moving. So how it works is the team will say, "Judge, I would like to score." You say yes. The team sets up their robot in the start area. 3, 2, 1, go! The team's robot starts moving. It drives around the table, scores a few points, and then stops when the team touches it. Teams must touch the robot to indicate that their run has finished. When the team touches the robot, you take a look at your watch and you see, oh, the time was 2:30, 14:30. That is the time that you write on the score sheet. Do not time the teams. Explorer is the team that has scored the most points in the quickest time of day. So please make sure you look at the time of day and use the time of day when you are scoring the teams. It is a very important thing, as we have a few spaces at the national final for teams which will be ranked on their score and the time that they achieved that score. So time is very important. Teams in Explorer must score higher than their previous run for a score to be recorded. So that's where Explorer is different from most competitions. Most competitions, judges will score whatever the robot has done in that run. As a rule, we are working with beginners and we want them to have the best scores possible. They should always be working up and up and up on previous scores. So a team, let's say, scored 100 points. They then ask you to score them again about 20 minutes later. You say, great. They run through the setup process and they run their robot. Oh, this time they only scored 40 points. They had a bad run. It got stuck on a corner somewhere. We as judges do not write down the 40-point score. Teams must score higher than their previous one. Also within reason. If a team comes to you and they say they would like to score 10 points more than the previous score, advise them maybe not. Let them get maybe 20, 30 more points and then score. Teams have a total of 4 scoring opportunities, and we'll see that on the score sheet in the next slide. Only have 4 scoring opportunities. So teams cannot have more, only 4. If a team says record the score, we record it. So if a team does score 10 points more than their previous run and they demand that you score them, write that score down. Help that team along the way and at least let them get those extra 10 points. Maybe they know that they were lucky with that. Maybe it's something that they can't get over. Maybe they're afraid of the scoring system. So please, if a team demands that we write down the score, we follow that request. On the other hand, a team can say, don't score that. We don't want that. So please listen to the team's requests. Taking a look at our Explorer score sheet, this will be an A4 piece of paper. It is very legible, except in the slide for some reason. So please don't worry if you can't read anything here. The actual piece of paper you'll receive, you can read everything quite well. On the score sheet, we have the tasks on the left-hand side. These are the missions the robot needs to complete while it is moving. We have how many points each item is worth, and then the different runs, 1 to 4. We have the number of objects worth that number of points. So for example, if a team uses an ultrasonic to start the robot moving, they will circle 1 and they get 20 points. We also have our surprise rule down at the bottom, and that is worth 30 points. There's a bonus point, and these bonus points are always awarded if the conditions are met. So in Explorer, we have ruins that are on the game mat. If those ruins are moved outside of their area, the teams do not score those bonus points, or the bonus points awarded for that particular ruin. When judging, please move down the list, starting at number 1 and moving all the way down, checking all the conditions. Now, with our elements, we're talking about the toolboxes. There are 2 different scoring positions. So if the toolbox is not touching the black square inside of the dig site area, the teams will score only 10 points. They will meet that condition. If the toolbox is completely inside of the dig site and touching a black square, the team will score 20 points. So be aware that teams will either score that one per toolbox or that one. They can never score both for one toolbox. On our score sheet, we have the team's highest score and the highest score time. And that comes from the end of the run. We have run 1 score, 1, 2, run 3, and run 4 score. Now, we then have the time that score was taken, and the time for run 1, run 2, run 3, and run 4. When the competition ends and teams have finished, there's no more time left, we will write down in the highest score zone over there the team's score. We'll then write down its corresponding time. So please make sure that you are keeping track of the time and that you are keeping track of your team's scores. It is very, very important on the day. So please make sure you are scoring your teams correctly and watching out and following the score sheets. If you have any issues on the day, if you disagree with things, or you're not sure how things should be scored, remember you have your head judges and they are there to assist you and give you the guidance that you may need for the day. The score sheet also holds some very important information. We have the school name or the club that that team has come from, their unique number. Each team is assigned a unique number upon registration. And we have the team name. Now, the team name is what the team will be called by you on the day. Teams shouldn't be changing team names. And please, if you have entered teams as school number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, make sure your teams know which school 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 they are, because that will be the name that we call when something goes wrong. You also have the team's seating position, 1 to 6. In this case, this team is seated at D6. Taking a look at the process. For the process, when the timer hits 0, so when the competition timer will be projected onto one of the screens in the venue, when that timer counts down to 0, all teams must go back to their seating area. No team is allowed to line up at the scoring table and score after the timer has hit 0. All teams must be seated. Teams are only allowed to score in that hour. The only exception to this rule is if a team was running on the table for a scoring run 1 or 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes before the timer hits 0. So if the robot started moving before the timer hits 0 and they're scoring, that team's score will be allowed. That is the only exception. Taking a look at some judging prep that we need to do. As a judge, you will be given a wonderful, beautiful colored bib, which you will wear on the day. Please hand them back, as we do need to take them to other competitions for judges to wear. Don't worry, the bibs are washed, so please feel free to wear them. Try not make a mess on them, because more mess means more washing. So please be careful with our bibs and hand them back at the end of the day. You will be standing quite a bit, so make sure you've got your comfortable shoes. The reason I ask our judges to stand is because if you are standing exactly like the teams. And by standing, you are showing an interest in what they are doing. So please make sure that you and your fellow judges are standing if possible. Please, if you have any issues where you need to sit, perhaps you have had a hip replacement maybe 3 or 4 days ago, please feel free to sit down. We don't want people to hurt themselves while they are judging, and importantly, we want you to enjoy the day. As a judge, especially an explorer, you'll be active and busy. You'll be talking with the teams, managing your table, making sure everything is running smoothly. You will, at the end of the day, have a favorite team. Now, this will be a team who is maybe not the best. They're not scoring very high, but they have an incredible attitude. Maybe they are wearing your favorite color, or maybe they come from a school that you were previously at, or maybe it is one of your old teacher's kids. You don't know. So please, you will have a favorite team on the day, and that is perfectly fine as long as you're not biasing them. So please remember, we are equal and work with all teams. We judge all teams in the same way. So please, no bias towards any teams for any reason. And as a judge, you tend to have more fun than you actually think you will. It is very nerve-wracking, but once you get 1 or 2 scores under your belt, it's pretty quick and easy, and you enjoy the process. So if it's your first time, don't worry. It is a lot of fun, especially in Explorer. It's very active. There's less pressure on the kids, and it is a fun scoring mechanism. Remember that judging is completely voluntary. Everything, unfortunately, is at our own expense as a judge, including going to the international finals. So please, if you're thinking of heading to international finals this year, understand it is at your own expense. No judges are paid, even at the international final. We are all volunteers heading overseas. And ultimately, most of our judges, majority I would say, are people who have a love for either the WRO, robotics, or both. So keep in mind that you are working with like-minded people. So if you're looking to make some awesome contacts, the WRO is an incredible place to do that. For bathrooms, you may need to escort teams to the bathroom. This is if your venue does not have a designated team bathroom. Some venues, we're lucky enough that they have designated team bathrooms. Majority don't. So please escort your teams to the bathroom for 2 reasons. Number one, we don't want coaches to approach any teams while they're on their way and give them information and an unfair advantage. Please also wait for the teams while they are in the stalls. Do not go and stand next to them while they're doing their business. That's just strange. And please make sure that the bathroom is safe for the team. If the team is taking, or the child is taking 10-20 minutes in the bathroom, there may be a problem. Please go in and check and see that they are all right. We want our teams to enjoy their time. Some judging do's and don'ts. Remember, as a judge, you are neutral and you are part of the judge's family. When you put on that judge's bib, you do not belong to any school, you do not belong to any country, except for the judging country and the judging school. You should not be getting involved in any disputes with your own teams, so remain entirely neutral. Let the judges on the table that your teams have been assigned deal with any issues that your teams may have. If head judges decide that we need to contact you as a coach, we will make the contact. So please, if you have teams on the day and you're worried about how they're doing, leave them alone. They are doing fine. You can always ask the judges on their table how they're doing, and they can give you information, but do not talk with your teams. Always stay away from your teams if you are a coach on the floor and you have teams in the area. A number one for me, I have quite a few number ones now that I think about it, but one of my biggest rules is please do not disrespect or make fun of any teams or their robots. Remember, these teams have been working on their robots for a long time. They've formed an emotional bond with them in a way that we can't really understand unless you have been making a robot for Explorer and participating in the competitions. So for that reason, disrespecting a robot can ruin the event for a child. They will feel less and they will give up. So please, only encourage teams. Let them know that whatever their robot looks like, it is a really cool robot and you're proud that they have built it. Ask the teams about this. Teams love talking about their robots. They love telling you funny things that have happened. All their robots have been given a name, so feel free to ask them what those are. Engage with the children and make them feel comfortable at your competition table. And be mindful about what you say. If you shake your head at a run, if you tell a team no, if you tell a team you guys can do better, it may affect them negatively. So always be positive when dealing with our teams. We want them to have a really great time. Please help and reset the game table after each run. Teams get very excited and they leave the table and run away to their own competition table. The incoming team will generally reset the table and the leaving team will generally reset the table. But remember, reset the table, especially for the scoring runs. We want to make sure that our scoring runs are correct. A big rule for me, this is actually my number one rule, and that is to never touch a team's robot without permission. The reason being is if something goes wrong, you may be blamed. Whether you are in Rover Mission, Future Innovators, Future engineers, explorer, whatever you're in, if you touch a team's robot, you may be blamed if things go wrong. So please avoid touching team's robots without their permission. Please don't leave your tables unattended. There should always be one judge on the table at all times, especially in Explorer. Please do feel free, though, to head outside, grab a coffee, go and have something to eat, but always come back in as soon as possible. Always come back. It's a number one rule. We don't want our judges to leave the kids unattended, because if a team is standing and waiting to score and you aren't there, you are wasting their time and they're losing out on valuable time points. So please make sure that at least one judge is on the table at all times. And if you are on a table and you are all alone and you have a team that asks to score, jump to the table next door and ask one of your friendly judges to maybe assist you in the scoring. That way we have two judges who will assist the team while their team's robot is running for the scoring round. Please don't give a team any advice on building, on programming. If you are not sure what you can do, ask your head judges. The reason for this is because if you tell a team, guys, if you go forward for 2 rotations, turn to the left and pick up the yellow thing and drop it in the start area, you'll get 50 points. If you tell a team that and they then spend the next 2.5 hours trying to do it and fail at it, it will be your fault. So please don't give the teams, especially in Explorer, any programming advice, any advice on scoring. But in these cases where you see teams are almost in a position, tell them to read the score sheet. Show them their score sheet. See, guys, where could you score more points? Show them the score sheet and let them figure it out for themselves. Please, while at the table, do not touch or push or block any team members. Team members have full access to the table and they can do what they need to do on it. So please don't block teams from running on their competition table. Teams have full rights to the table. This one always sounds quite funny, but it is very serious. Please don't award extra points to teams. Stick with what the score sheet says. We have had incidents of this at international finals, so please don't just award teams points because they were nice to you, because they almost got it in. Stick with the score sheet. We don't want any bias or unfairness happening to teams. Number 1, it's not allowed. It's not in the rules. 2, it's biased. And 3, it's just generally not allowed. So please, no extra points to teams unless it's on the score sheet. Please, as a judge, do not talk to any spectators or coaches. Your priority is the teams, unless you think it is absolutely necessary. And in cases where we have coaches shouting over the sidelines to teams to do something, that is when you can step in. And you can go up to the coach and say, "Coach, please don't talk to your teams. If you continue, I will have to penalize your team." And then generally they sit down, but also speak to the team. You'll be surprised how much power some of these kids hold in their teams when they will just flat out ignore their coaches, especially if they understand their coach may be the reason they get disqualified. Please watch for any teams that are communicating with coaches and spectators, especially in Explorer. Remember, here we are testing problem solving as well as the knowledge that they have gained through whatever programs they have been running. There are, however, some exceptions to this rule. There are medical issues. So if you see a parent waving a packet of pills at you, please, if you see a medical issue, if you have a parent waving something at you that looks kind of medically, please make sure that that team gets it. It may be medication that they need to take. Maybe a team member has a headache. Ensure that that gets to them. Teams may have hardware issues. In this case, let's say the robot motors have stalled. The brick is not responding. Please, in this case, go to the head judges, and the head judges will be able to assist unless you know how to resolve the problem yourself. We want teams to be able to participate, so hardware issues is where we can step in and assist them. And something that happens almost at every competition is what we call emotional devastation. Teams have not run as well as they thought. Everything is too overwhelming. There's too many people. The judges are shouting at them. They're not having a great time. Please, in these cases, we generally bring the head judges together with the coach, and the coach will give the team a pep talk as well as the head judge. In those instances, we are allowed to talk with our coaches and our spectators. A big thing for me, for those of you who have been doing this for a long time, you recognize this slide. This is a South African team at the international final. Their great-grandmother had flown all the way to see them there in Hungary, I think it was. And what happens is they're watching the table. Their team's about to run, and they're so excited about their grandkids. And the judge goes and stands right in the middle of the table so they can't see anything. Please, take note of where you are standing as a judge. Stand to the sides of the competition table and not in the front. We want our spectators, our coaches, and our parents to see the work that the kids are doing. The only time that we as judges should be standing in front of the table like this and blocking the view is when we are doing a randomization or scoring. So please, if you are scoring the team and you need to see that side of the table, feel free to stand in the way. But during a scoring run, during a practice run, stand to the sides or the front of the table. So as an example, take a look at our judges. Our judges are wearing pink, and here you can see that they are all standing to the side of the competition table. They are all standing on the sides, not blocking the view and giving our spectators good access to see what their teams are doing. So please be aware of where you are standing on the competition day and make sure you stand to the sides of the table. Now for some general rules. So in Explorer, teams start with no program. They have to program everything on the day. They can arrive with a pre-built robot, but no program. Whatever software they are using, they have to start from scratch. Absolutely nothing. Zip, not an element on the page except for the play button. That's the only thing that's allowed to be there. Teams must program everything during the competition time. So whatever a team is doing, they have to program it themselves on the competition day and only during competition time. So during that 15-minute break, teams are not allowed to program. Teams are allowed to make any modifications they like to the robot during competition time. So if a team decides that they want to put a big arm on the side, they can. No MyBlocks are allowed to be used. So MyBlocks are not allowed to be used by any teams except in very, very extreme circumstances. And those need to be checked with the head judges. Generally, with the EV3 and the Spike Prime, it gets to a point in very long programs where it starts to freeze or be slow. In those instances, the head judge is called. The head judge will then advise a team MyBlocks part of their program that's working. The team will MyBlock that part of the program and nothing more. They can then continue the competition with a computer that is running well. For the start area, all parts of the robot must be completely inside of the white starting area. The border around the area is not part of the start area. So please, if you see things overhanging that area, the robot is too large. This includes our cables. This is a standard rule in both Explorer and in RoboMission. So please make sure that the teams are aware of this on your table. If you see robots too large, inform the teams, guys, your robot's too big, you need to make some modifications. We then have completely in and out. So for Explorer, in Explorer Lite, we are fairly lenient in the rules. If an object is touching and the score sheet says touching, we give them those points. If you are in Explorer Prime, it must be completely in. Please follow what the score sheet says, completely in or out. Please never, ever, ever touch a team's robot. As part of the competition, we can't make every single table the same, so please expect there to be flaws on the field, varieties of color and brightness on the game mat, and that there will be differing lighting conditions. There is nothing we can do about lighting conditions in most places, so teams must adjust on the day, and that can expect the judge's shadow on the field. So please, the judge's shadow will be on the game mat. You will be walking around the field yourself, and please be aware of where you are standing. Do not bump any of the teams. Do not knock them over. Please make sure that you are watching where you are walking. Please, nobody to stand on the game mat itself, including teams and judges. We don't want anyone standing on our game mats because our Explorer mats are used for the rubber mission category the next day. So please make sure that no one damages the mats. If you disagree with a decision on your table, if you disagree with your partner, that is great. The head judge will come in and make a final decision for you. The head judge's decision is final whether you agree with it or not. Remember, our head judges have a lot of experience and they are doing it for reasons that you may not yet be aware of. A big one for me as a table judge, you do not need to speak with a coach or a spectator unless you really have to. So if you have someone that's heckling you or shouting at you from the sideline, please feel free to tell the head judge, and the head judge will go and talk to them and let you carry on with the teams. Remember, as a table judge, your number one priority are the teams on the day. And now we arrive at our Q&A. This is your opportunity to ask questions about the Explorer category, and we will do our best to give you the most accurate and best answers. So please, if you have any questions, you are welcome to type them into the chat. Otherwise, I am going to unmute your microphones and you will be able to ask your questions over a microphone. So please, if you have any questions, you are welcome to ask them now. And yes, Yuri, there is a WhatsApp link. So before we get there, bam, we have created a WRO community. So there is a community we've now put together for all teams, judges, coaches in the WRO to join and ask your questions. It is a general group, and inside you will find the rubber mission category, future innovators, and others. So please, if you have questions in those categories, feel free to join our community and talk with your fellow roboteers, whether you are a coach doing this for a long time or it is your first time. Our community is something we are trying to create to make an incredible WRO experience for our judges and our teams. And we're trying to make it an easier way for us to get information to you and update you on important things. But more importantly for me, it allows you to ask your questions and have them answered either by experts like myself or by any other experts that we have on the group. Remember, we have people who've been running these competitions for a long time, participating in them for many years, and they come with valuable experience and expertise. So please feel free, if you see a question in the group, feel free to answer it. I'm now just going to, there we go. I see we've got a question, a hand up. Please feel free to ask your question.
Hi, Duncan. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
My only question that I have is in regards to the toolbox that you mentioned. So let's say, for example, the learners try to attempt both of the toolboxes and they get the equipment inside of the toolbox. Do they still get then the one mark for both of them, or how? Because you mentioned that they can only get marked for one attempt.
So by attempt, we're talking about that scoring run. So if they run once and they get one toolbox, they'll only score for one toolbox. If, however, they come for run number 2 and they get 2 toolboxes, they'll get 2, and we'll take that higher score. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. There's also, I'm gonna try and reword it, but I'll type it out onto the group because I'm trying to get my thoughts in around asking the question. But I'll type it into
Perfect.
the WhatsApp group. Don't worry. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. If you have any other questions, you are welcome to ask. And remember, if you don't ask your question now, that's not a problem. You're always happy to email us. Muller, you are welcome to ask your question, please.
Oh, sorry, I've been trying to unmute my mic. Duncan, I've got two questions. The
Yes.
first one is probably more related to the robo mission. WRO Learn doesn't allow you to be a coach and a judge.
Okay, I will ask them about that and see what they can do. I think if you do use a separate email or second email, you can do it. But I will
that's
just ask them
probably a
to
good
update that
workaround.
and change that.
Okay. And then the other question I have is actually, this is the first time where you don't record the score. So there's only 4 places to record what the team did. So, you know, if a team got 160 points and in the next round 155, you already marked a lot of the stuff in the table. Will that
Yes.
not be confusing?
Yes, so we do have extra score sheets on hand, but my advice is write on the back of these score sheets when you are scoring the team. Run through the process and write very small in a corner. There are different workarounds. It's always an issue that we have, and trying to solve it without having to print tons and tons of material, will make things too small to see. It is always an issue. So try write on the back of the score sheet or use the sides of the score sheet, the margins, when scoring your teams. Generally, the first score will be the easiest one, and you can always go back and write in that first score as well. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, most of it will be obvious, but I'm actually just thinking of close calls.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? I see we've got 2 hands up.
Good evening. Can you hear
Hi,
me?
Duncan.
Oh, let's go for Tenske first. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Sorry,
Thank you
Jeanette,
so
I'll
much,
take you
yes.
next.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yes, it's Tenske from Belgium. I'm quite excited, but it is my first time, so I'm also nervous. I just want to double check because you said that there's 4 scoring runs that we're going to dot down on the paper. But if, for example, the kids said that they want to do a judging round and it's less than the previous round, we don't write that down, right? So then it's a judging round without being scored on the paper. Is that am I understanding that correctly?
That's correct. There's only 4 official scores is the way I should have worded it. So there's only 4 official scores which we will write down in those areas. So if a team does score less, we don't record it. And if a team decides they don't want that score, they want to try more, then maybe they scored 5 points more and they think that they can actually get 30 or 40, you can do that as well. But also remember that you are judging them. You have been watching their robots run during practice. So you know what it should be doing. So if you see it in its scoring run and it all of a sudden goes a bit funny, you have a good idea that it's probably not going to give them the points that they were scoring. Most of the time as well, you will find that you are actually scoring the teams while they're practicing. So you know what they are capable of. So even before the team tells you they want to score, you'll have an idea of what score they should be getting. And you can just watch that on the table.
Okay, so basically that means
time.
they can ask. Thank you so much. So basically that means that they can ask the judge to, so they will say score more than 4 times, say, but only the highest 4 will go on the paper. I understand that correctly, right? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah. Jeanette, your turn.
Oh, thank you, Duncan. And thank you for your time tonight again. Just quickly back to my blocks. My students are using the Spy Prime app, and I've coached them in the past to code the turn left, turn right, arm up, arm down. So functions that they use quite often in the Red My block. So are they not allowed to use that?
Yes, unfortunately, we have to say they're not allowed to use the MyBlocks. And the reason being that we are not allowing MyBlocks is because we have found it in the past. coaches would program the entire thing for the teams and save it as a MyBlock. So teams would literally arrive, drag out the MyBlock, and there's the entire program done for them. So really, because of adults, we've had to bring in this rule to stop teams from essentially cheating. So it's something I
Understood.
wish we could fix, but it is what
No,
it
no, I
is.
can fix it from my side. No problem. Thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying that.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Is there a particular dress code? The dress code is please wear something comfortable. That's my number one. If you are part of a school and you would like to wear whatever dress code is part of that school, you are welcome to do so. But generally wear something that's comfortable for you and something that is not offensive. So for all of you heavy metal fans out there like I am, we have to keep our metal shirts at home and not wear them on the day. So please wear something comfortable and something that you don't think will be too offensive to others around you. Any other questions? Great. If there is nothing coming through, then that is perfectly fine. I'm quite happy with that. So first off, just as we end, thank you everybody for attending. Thank you if you are listening to this post the meeting. I really do appreciate it. I've been doing this for a long time, and I can honestly say that in South Africa, we have some of the best judges ever around the world. All of our judges are very enthusiastic, they're very excited, and they take the time to work with our kids. So thank you to each and every one of you for taking on Explorer. And if it's your first time, we welcome you to the judging family. There are people who've been doing it for an incredibly long time, and I know that you are going to have an amazing time. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and enjoy your time and your day. I'm now going to give my children some chocolate because they've been quite good. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening and thank you for attending.
Drop your feet.